sophisticated ignorance.
Everyone is cool. Have a drink in hand or not. It's up to you. I don't trust your
water.
Your Nesquik, Nestea, iced tea, brisk, Douce combination, but hey, whatever gets you nice and comfortable.
I've never judged you. I've never judged your choice of beverage, anything that you've ever drank. I've never judged anything that you drank. I just trusted that whatever you drank was suitable for you at that present moment and let it ride out. But now you're judging me on some brewed beverage in a nice fancy glass.
Where did you find that recipe? Where did you find it? Or you made
my
it?
Head.
Nah,
my head.
Not my head.
My head. My head. That's how I make my drinks, my food. All right, okay. For everyone who's listening, okay, I brewed Lipton black tea. I added some cream. It has to be cream. It can't be, milk or anything that doesn't have any fat in it, because it has to have that kind of creamy texture to it, like an Irish cream kind of thing. Put some sugar in there and added a splash, not a whole bunch, because Douce is a very potent cognac. A splash of Douce in it, and it tastes amazing. You can't go overboard. See, the thing with you guys, right?
Who guys? Let's not generalize.
Men's.
Not men's. Yikes.
Y'all would put a whole half a cup of Henny or Douce into it, and it takes away from the actual flavor of the drink. You want it to complement each other in like an orchestra or a symphony. So when you take a sip like this, the flavors just melt together in your mouth.
Come on, connoisseur.
Okay, Startender, you got it. You got a Startender.
All right.
I'm not gonna compete with you. That's fine.
I'll make it for you one day.
We'll have a cocktail off. How about? I was gonna call it something else, but not gonna. Not gonna say it.
I called it a drink, but if you wanna take it there.
Nope. Whatever I was gonna say.
Of this ship.
I'm certainly not going to repeat it, but the answer is we will have a cocktail off, and we'll see.
All right.
Who's the best drinks.
Sure. No problem.
Simone, you are free to join, but I'm just saying I know how to mix stuff. Okay.
I mean, your cocktail.
I've had some drinks of yours, and I actually taught you how to make a hot toddy. So brewing teas and combining alcohol is something that I do. And it was okay for the first time, but I'm sure you've improved and had many layers of complexities after that. But not to toot my own horn.
So now you drinking Minaj and I'm your son. Basically, that's what you're saying. That's fine.
All these bitches is my sons.
All right. You just called me a bitch on air. I'm offended, and I'm about to
I was singing. It's the Douce, sorry.
Of course it is. Perfect excuse. All right, let's get the show started before, our guest is now drove away by our shenanigans.
If you want me to make you a drink, Simone, I'm your girl.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Rose.
All right. Well, until that day, you continue sipping your drink of choice. How about that?
It sounds like you're jealous.
I am not jelly. Not me. You know me. Cool as a cucumber.
I'll give you a cocktail later.
Okay. I appreciate that. All right. Here we go. Hey, everybody. What is good? Welcome to another episode of the podcast, Sophisticated Ignorance. I'm Vixon J.
It's Rovie, baby.
Oh,
welcome
Rovie,
back.
Baby. Oh,
Rovie, baby.
Oh, you're saucy today. I like it. You're big saucy. Welcome to another episode. Once again, y'all, I hope you all are staying cool out there. Cool enough. This weather's wilding, so we don't know what we're going to expect. First it's hot, then it's cool, especially for those in New York City, like myself. Wear all the clothes, because you don't know what type of temperature or weather is going to be outside. You probably have to wear a hoodie with some Uggs and
a hoodie in June.
I was wearing
outside right now.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on. It was a typhoon earlier, and look, man, I don't got the time. Wow. This is why I stay inside.
Okay.
I avoid the weather and I avoid niggas respectfully. Just avoid
everything. Okay, hermit vibes. All right.
Stay in.
Okay, Master Splinter.
What does that mean? what are you talking about?
You staying indoors and underground, away from everyone.
How am I underground? I'm above ground. Doesn't matter. Okay. The answer is we have a guest, and we're going to introduce said guest. So please introduce yourself for the audience, for those who might not be familiar. But come on. This, if y'all don't know who this is, then throw away your phones. How about that?
Oh my goodness. Oh, stop. Hi, everyone. I am Simone, also known as Via Simone. I am the founder of the Bonnets Durags brand. It is a podcast, event series, and apparel line. That is what I do at night. That is my brand child, my brand baby. But what I do full time is I'm a partnerships marketing manager. I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. I've been living here for 4 years. I'm from upstate New York. I'm from Albany.
Okay.
And I'm really happy to be here.
Okay. Uptown to downtown. Welcome to the show. Yes. So for those who are familiar with Bonnets Durags Podcast, Simone is the queen of that brand. It's more of an experience at this point. It's not just a podcast. It's an experience.
Yes. It's really about experiencing Black comfort. Like what that really looks like for us. So creating safe spaces for us to express ourselves, safe spaces for us to like pull up in public. Sorry, Monique.
Yeah.
In public, in our bonnets and our durags, and just really just enjoying one another. Just being hella Black. So yeah.
Yes. And as you can see, we are all hella Black on this show. So there's no hiding it. Okay. So yeah, I
must say I do love your durag.
Oh, why thank you.
It's quite spiffy.
I didn't realize you noticed mine.
It's giving me chocolate douce vibes.
Chocolate douce. That's I'm changing my name to that. That's it. Going right to Twitter.
I'm too creative right now.
Because you are the sauce. That's why. You are on the sauce. My name for this episode and moving forward is Chocolate Douce. Love to hear it. All right. So respect me and address me as such. But yes, I wore the durag in solidarity to Simone being on the show today. And speaking of Twitter, today is somewhat of a ceremonious event because we're pretty much having like a homegoing / retirement party. Recently, I found online, I found a list of topics that people on Twitter tend to talk about often. And if you live on Twitter or on social media in general, you'll know these topics and how annoying they are every time they pop on the timeline or every time, someone brings it up. And it's just like, when are we going to stop talking about them? And the answer is today. We are putting these topics to bed. No more. We are tired. We have been inside for too long in this Panasonic, and we do not need to have these topics recurring over and over and over into our psyches. So we are putting these to bed. We are burying them 7 feet under, not 6, because, zombies. 7 feet under. We are throwing cement on that bitch, not dirt. And as far as this podcast or my public conversation is concerned, I will never bring this up again. I will never chime in. This is it. This is the final stance. Okay. So I hope you all can join me and join us for this journey as we put.
I don't know if I can commit 100% to this. I might slip up.
Why would you want to?
I might slip up and I might just bring up old topics because that's what I do.
But why? But why do you want to? Because
I don't want to. I might just do it unconsciously. Right, well, then I'll just check myself.
I will stop you. How about that? I'm going to be proactive and just stop you. Just say nope.
All right. Stop sign.
I'm going to hit you with the nope, and then we're just going to keep it moving. How about that?
No problem.
Cool. We're on the same page. All right. And make sure that you do that with your friends as well. This is more of a PSA. If anybody brings this up in front of you or around your vicinity, just tell them nope. We're not doing this today.
So you're choosing violence.
It's called shut it down. It's time to shut these topics down because I'm tired and we all should be. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each topic. We're going to depending on if it's a choice or if it's just a stance, we're going to say if we agree with it, don't agree with it. We're going to, kind of just flesh it out. And then when the topic is done, it's done. And that's it. And that is all. I'm excited because once again, if I see any of these on the timeline again, I'm going to officially start reporting tweets.
Ooh.
And Mr. Jack, whatever his name is, Mr. Jack Twitter, he could deal with them. Okay, if they got Trump the fuck off out of Twitter, he could get all y'all niggas off for Twitter too, with a snap. Okay, that's it.
That's like how they banned it in Nigeria.
Damn right. Well, that's more. I feel like that's more like media suppression, but that's a whole different.
That's true.
Topic for a whole different day.
Yeah.
We won't go there.
Yeah.
Man, but yes, let's begin. Man, we have a bunch to run through, so let's get started. Okay, so our first topic, ladies, you're gonna love this one. Our first topic is $200 dates.
Oh, now it sounds wrong already.
We're gonna go around and we're gonna just briefly talk about: do we agree? Do we not agree? What is this? And why do you feel like this topic should just die?
Well,
Simone, okay. Yes, go first, please.
I was just gonna say, I feel like why do we put a number on the dates? Whether or not you want to drop $5 or $500 is your business. You're paying. So you're paying. Let's be clear.
Well, who's paying?
The man, or who I will say the man or whoever initiated. Let's go on this date. I will say that. Let's take away the gender role here. So I will say that whoever initiated, hey, I want to hang out with you. Let's go here. You should be the one paying. Let's be honest. But let's also look at the fact that when you traditionally, and I will say I am old school, and this actually is the topic that really, I think, was the one that started my own riff and why I even started Bonnets and Durags, because I was saying that I really do think that men should be courting women, or whatever your situation is, and it's true, because it's some men don't realize is that we want to be courted, because that really shows us that you are interested in us, interested in getting to know us, value us, all of the above. It's not to say that we aren't going to spoil you or take care of you or take you out and treat you in the future. But just how the dating scene is set up, that's what, at least as a woman, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I've looked for. And what I have been raised on is my dad telling me don't ever go on a date without having your own cash, because you never know. That has happened before. I've shown up on dates, literally I've been to the movies, was asked to go to the movies, and the guy shows up to the ticket booth and says, yeah, one for Avengers. It's
oh, who asked who out? Wait a minute.
And he asked me out.
Wait a minute.
One ticket.
So that's why it's I feel like we get so caught up on the pricing, and the price doesn't matter, because what also people need to realize too is it's the thought and the attention to detail that counts. If you tell me hey, let's have a picnic in Brooklyn Bridge Park, we can go get $7 chopped cheeses at the bodega and get a little mini bottle and some juice and have a nice little vibe. How much did that cost you collectively? Maybe $20, $30. I can't speak for everybody. Some women may want okay, you need to take me to Peter Luger first date, whatever. Those things are nice, but I think I'm a simple woman. I'm not looking for those things immediately. If that's how you come in, amazing. I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna get cute, but I think people just get too caught up on how much a date costs and all of that. So that's why I'm can we just please put the $200 dates to rest, and let's actually refocus the conversation on how we're showing up to create intentional dates for these people that we're interested in.
I agree. Rovie, do you have, you've taken any thoughts out of my mouth, but Rovie, you could chime in.
Yeah, I align with what Simone is saying. And in a traditional sense, yeah, I grew up with whoever asked out, pays or treats for the date, however, for me, I've gone through the struggle era of my time and trying to be, understanding doing the cute little picnic dates and trying to understand, somebody else's financial status. But right now, I'm in a frame of mind where you have to spend it all on me. Yes, bring it. Yep. I will place a monetary value on this. I'll be the devil's advocate. Okay. I've struggled trying to be with the come up, the same, ask me out on a date, and then I had to go Dutch without knowing, or even pay for the whole date, or even pick up said dude for date, even though he asked me, So right now I am reclaiming my time and saying, yes, I want to go to breakfast at Tiffany's. Yes, take me to Sandals. I deserve to be treated well at this moment in my life. This is where I am. This is what I am gravitating towards, and this is what my energy is bringing. And my thing is, if I can do it for myself, you should be able to do it for me as well too.
I completely agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your dime.
Oh.
There it is.
That's good.
All right, chocolates, you say.
That's called merch. That is called merch.
That is called merch. That is one of the
Reclaim your dimes. Yeah, no, so I agree, all the above. For me, $200 dates, like $200 is not a lot. I'm sorry. It must be the working person in me. But 200 ain't that much. And mind you, I'm probably eating the majority of that 200 because mans can eat. So most of the people I've gone out with, their appetites. I mean, granted, most of these bills are the drinks. Let's be honest. So it's like
that's what really drives it. That's what Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. No.
I was just gonna say that's one thing adulting didn't tell you is that when you go out to a restaurant, especially like when you first turn 21, you're like, oh, I need to get a drink. That's what takes your bill from a $50 meal to $175 because now between the two of you, you've had a round of 3 drinks, and they're super expensive, and you're not really that. You're not gonna.
It's better to buy the bottle.
Exactly. So like, yeah, I just had
all
to
right,
say
life hack.
right.
It is.
Buy a bottle of wine.
Buy a bottle.
All right.
Yep.
Fair. Or drink before you get there. That's just me. Maybe not.
You gotta pull up in the car, have your little, your little fifth, take a little swig, and then go right in.
My motto is frugal and fabulous. Okay.
Don't get it. Also a t-shirt.
You gotta be writing these down, sis. You gotta write these down.
Oh Lord.
I got gems.
But Chocolate do say, have you been taken out on a more than $200 date by someone?
The answer is, I believe I have. It was a while ago.
That's sad.
But the thing is, it's like I'm usually prone to, as a guy, grab my wallet first, and I don't mind, so to speak, right? If the woman decides to offer, then I'd appreciate that. But I'm never gonna be doing the invisible pat down on some. Shit! Like, right. Ooh, I left my life at home. Oh no, how am I supposed to? Oh girl, well
I gotta work on that.
Right, I seen your wallet. Oh, you got this. Like
I just sit and I do the Martin hand roll and like, so what's next? Dessert.
Dessert. Yeah, no, $200 dates or whatever amount. I mean, the thing is, I also feel that men are so caught up with the fact that when it comes to investing in someone, they get caught up in the monetary investment and they don't get involved. They don't get caught up with the time investment, all these other things. Like they prioritize money as more important than time and energy and all these things. So this is why certain people get caught up with the dollar amount, because like, yo, I spent all this money on you and ABC. Yeah, it's like, well, what about what about
I should be getting this from you?
Exactly, like
dessert.
Because we treat dating transactionally instead of it being more of a connection. Well, I don't know, girl.
Transactional. We need to unpack that. Why is dating for men transactional versus intentional or based on connectedness?
And I learned this back in the day where I thought buying a girl a drink at the club equated to them like giving me their time. And the answer is that is never how it works. That
it's a Russian roulette for you, honey. I'm sorry.
Right, because at the end of the day, they get their drink, and then I'm standing.
Like, all right.
And you gotta pay for the French drink.
Right. So it's just like, why am I? I don't mind buying someone a drink, but it's just like, all right, I bought you a drink. Now I need you the whole night. mind you, it's not even like, oh, just a couple minutes.
No.
It's like, I bought you this one weak ass drink for $30. Now I own you for the whole evening. Like,
are you Roosevelt? Remember he made that like song on Comic View? Do y'all remember that?
What song?
It was like to the beat of Music Soul Child's song. He was like, "Bitch, you are my girlfriend."
Yes, I do remember that. I do.
That used to have me tickled. You don't know what I'm talking about?
A little bit. I don't think I'm
gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link.
Either way, Life BC was very problematic, and I don't want to go back there. So here we are. So yeah, that's my stance on that. I don't want to hear about $200 dates or $300 or $400. Just at the end of the day, you should afford to go on a date. Like, don't go on a date being all brokey and then start complaining about the bill. Don't do that.
Exactly. And I never look at the bill.
Oh, we know. Oh, we know.
Oh,
you shouldn't have. Your fingers.
My fingers do not touch that little bill clip.
You should not be touching the.
I shouldn't.
And at all. But I do want to circle back on the brokey thing, though.
What about if a guy asks you to pay tip? How about that?
Oh, let's not get into this topic.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right.
We only have so much time.
I'm dead. I'm sorry. Dead. Sorry.
We can save that for a part 9 of this conversation, but let's not.
Okay. My bad.
Some niggas don't even know how to calculate tip, much less paid. So we're not mathematicians out here, so let's not even go there, okay? And by niggas, I mean myself. But that's neither here nor there. I know how to calculate 15%.
Let me just say something real quick about the tips, though. Sorry.
All right,
the story just popped in my head. All right, so it was a family dinner, and the father of the girl paid in full for the dinner and whatever for everybody that was sitting there. And he also paid the tip, right? So the boyfriend of the girlfriend decided to go back into the wallet where the tip was left, took out the $20 bill, put down a 10 and kept the 20. I seen it with my own eyes. And I was like, oh, with your father? This is what you're bringing home? And complaining about date night, and you just ate a whole meal, a smorgasbord for free. And you still...
So the man was complaining?
The man, he just took the tip and was saying, he didn't have to pay for anything, but he wanted to put in a tip, but decided to not give the full-fledged tip to the waitress.
So Mans is a criminal, in other words.
Basically.
He committed a felony. I'm going to call it a felony. Even if
I don't think he does $200 dates, but
clearly,
that's just my perspective.
He can't even do $20 tips. So there we are.
Man,
and some of these men are still.
We don't know everyone's financial situation, but
I suppose.
Yeah, but if that's the case, leave the 20 alone. Why are you even going in the tip wallet to change the 20?
Yeah. Right, it's not his money.
It's not his money. That's on top of that. So he stole $10.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. A crook. Yes, a criminal. This is why I called him a felon.
Officer, right there. He's right there.
Yes, being fiscally challenged is a very sad condition to have.
It is.
Sometimes it doesn't have a cure. So there's that.
Yeah.
Speaking of restaurants, let's go through this real quick. So splitting the bill. I mean, we briefly touched on this, like going Dutch or whatever.
On purpose?
I don't know. I mean, splitting the bill, either 50-50 or full. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. It could be anything. Just splitting anything.
Gotcha.
It depends.
Rent?
It depends on the conversation.
You mean rent?
Oh no, we've had this conversation on this podcast a long time ago about splitting rent. And shout outs to Miss Walker. Her hard stance is, I'm not splitting a rent with no nigga, nan nigga, none nigga. And I hear her, I feel her. But it's just like, at the end of the day, if you want a roof over your head, at least, all right. I mean, I guess for men and women, whatever, it's like if the man pays all the rent, then at least as the woman, I guess you pay the electricity bill or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. Like if the man insists on paying the rent, like, okay, let me hold down the utilities. Let me pay for Wi-Fi, electricity, groceries. Like
that's
to create some kind of contribution.
That's logical.
Yeah.
Is it logical? Because some people out here are going half on half.
I mean, I think if I were to move in with my significant other, my expectation would be that we're splitting it. Because it's like we moving in together. Like
one would think.
That was sweet.
I mean, I guess that's just maybe my mentality. It's like, okay, we splitting. But if he's like, nah, babe, I got this. I'm like, I'm saying less.
Find me the one.
Also
find me the one that's saying that.
It's giving me everything right now. Yeah.
It's giving me echo.
Giving you silence.
Right. A moment of silence. Because I don't know any man that is willingly offer, yo, babes, yo, this 2G rent, I got this, yo. All you gotta do.
There's some men that don't like that though.
I was just about to say that.
Where they at though?
Where they at though? Quiet because they not talking on the timeline because they ain't got time to do it.
Right.
Because they don't want their mentions in shambles. That's why. All right. Well, shout outs to the men that are willing to pay the full rent. I mean,
are you willing to pay the full rent?
I'm willing to pay the full rent if the rent
and
is,
utilities
at a certain budget and
budget. What is
budget?
That?
It's called budget.
What is budget? What's budget?
You don't have a budget? We don't have budgets? You think men's are not allowed a budget? Oh baby, come on now. I have other expenditures too. Like, I mean, if I'm paying, let's say 2 racks for apartment or whatever the case would be, then, I would have to make sure that it fits within my budget. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Okay.
That's logically makes sense. I'm not going to just spend 2 bands every month and then I can't even, order some. For yourself, yeah, I can't order Uber Eats for us because, well, all my money's gone to the roof. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because you have to live within your means too. That's another thing that I think people like mess up when it comes to dating and relationships. Is like they're doing all of this extra work to try to impress someone. Live within your means. Yep. If you can't take me to catch steak, don't sit here and like take out money from your life savings and your 401k to do that. And then sit here and be like, oh, well, I can only order XYZ. Because I've been on a date before where the guy, like, took me out and was like literally like trying to wine and dine me. But he ordered like a little like appetizer and was like, oh, but you can get whatever you want. And in the moment, I'm like, okay, thank you. And then when I came home and talked to my mom about it, she was like, girl, he had no.
Your mothers always put you in check.
Right. And I was in high school. So I'm like, oh, he cared about me. She was like, girl, he was broke. That's why. Exactly. That's why he ordered a little appetizer. He's like, right. The first meal. And I think that like in that moment, I was like, oh, that's so sweet and so cute. But then as I look back on it 10 years later now, I'm like, well, live within your means. Don't like, I didn't ask you to do that. Like, I think that like when you're with someone, you really care about them, you shouldn't want them to struggle and suffer. Like, like that just like that to me just gives weird vibes. So it's like, I'm not going to put my man through a situation where it's like, okay, you got to handle rent, utilities, car note, everything. And I'm just going to sit back and relax. Like, that's not partnership. That's not giving partnership. That's not giving equity. So for
some, that is the life. It's not fair.
That's definitely the life. I think that's the life.
Maybe they date a scammer or a doctor. That like everyone's financial situation is different.
Of course.
And of course, we all want to date somebody with some money so we can be
mood. Mood. Me.
Like who wouldn't want that?
Kim Kardashian.
Like, let's be realistic.
Kim Kardashian. You.
Right.
I will call myself Kim Vim J if I have to. It doesn't matter.
You know what you got to do for that.
Well, chocolate douce to the rescue, huh?
Oh, Lord.
Well, she's on the market, so.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of dates, so the next topic here is sex on the first date. Now, I don't know why this is a hot topic still in the year of our Lord 2021. But we're all adults, and I feel like if you have it, you have it, and if you don't, then that's fine. But it shouldn't be an expectation. It should just be something that happens organically. Then again, these days, you don't know who to trust, so it's very shaky.
Man, you could catch COVID in these streets.
Right.
Well, life BC, maybe that was acceptable, but now
you got to be extra cautious now.
Word, you gotta be big cautious.
As you can see, people on the timeline are not cautious. I done seen 2 videos in the last 24 hours of these men's wilding out in clubs, in functions. I don't know if you've seen the one with where he was like wrapping the girl's hair around his head, just thrusting her. And then there was another one where I saw where they were in Atlanta, and it was like he literally was having sex with their clothes on. I'm like,
because they've been trapped.
I was just gonna say,
bust out. Yeah.
It literally is like men have not seen women in ages, and they're just like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm like, please, let's go back inside. Let's recenter.
The gag is this has been happening before the pandemic, so this is nothing new. It's just been ramped up.
We're just like, it's a shock value of like, oh my god, outside's really open. Oh my god, he just did that. Like what? So.
Right? Yeah. No. But yeah, no. If you want to have sex on the first date, go for it. I mean, well. Be obviously cautious.
Have you done that?
Yes. So I like around the time when that happened, Tinder, it was when Tinder first came out. The golden ages of dating, when online dating apps were fresh and new and fun.
Like 2014.
Yeah, exactly. Then it went downhill from there. But but in the golden ages of dating apps, yes, I would I remember a date that I went on for the first time and we had sex the same day. And that's because, the girl knew what she wanted. So there wasn't any confusion. There wasn't any mixed messages. It was just like, hey, I want to go out. I want to have a good time. I want to take a guy home. Do what it do. And I was fine with that because at the end of the day, we were just like having fun, getting to know each other.
It was mutually exclusive.
It was fresh just to like meet someone off of that app. That's when it was like very mysterious and very like, risque, but fun and safe. In a way, I don't know how it is now. The apps is a dangerous place. But yeah, back in the day, it used to be actually fun. So, what are y'all stances? Agreed.
Like what you were saying, yeah. If you feel moved to it and it's mutually exclusive, why not? Like I'm not judging that. I've only had an experience like that once in my life.
Was it good?
It was cool, and then a week later, and he had a girlfriend. So I was like, oh.
You know what? This sounds sad to me because I'm on the opposite side, big time judgment because I haven't done it. Maybe because I haven't found someone that moved me to remove these curtains from my nether region to actually want to do them on the first date. Because for me, I guess it's more intellectual. I guess that's just for me. I haven't found, maybe if I found the guy, if he just wants to come and take me out on a date and it's our first date and he wants to pipe me, then maybe that's cool. But in normal, everyday, day-to-day life, I haven't found the guy that rocks my world for that. Yeah, it just keeps the juices flowing. I haven't found one there. It takes time to work the engine.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
So I have to now send this episode to Idris again and him not reply to me again because you shouted him out.
He's a fantasy. Let me tell you something. He's just a fantasy. If he's in my face, I will probably do nothing, like zero. I'll just be like, right? That's just me. But it's just a fantasy. Just a fantasy.
All right. Fair enough.
I talk a lot of smack.
Well, as we said in a previous episode, Idris Alba, Not Idris, but Idris-ish.
Idris. Okay, all right.
So someone equivalent to Idris, but not so much.
My flavors change day to day, so.
Well, then you need someone to keep up with your flavors, because.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
But no, I haven't had the joys of experiencing first date. Sex. And the last guy that I spoke to, I actually made him wait 8 months. I think that actually turned me on more, just dangling the carrot in front of him.
Oh, you're a control top. I see. All right. Well, that's a different topic for a different day.
All right. But yeah, one day. All
right. Fair enough. Good. All right. Next topic.
Not fear, chocolate douce.
I don't know what else to say about it. Your standards, your rules. That's all I got for you.
That's the important takeaway. Whatever the standards is for whoever, just respect it and move forward.
As you should. There's plenty of tuna fish in the can, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Whatever that means.
That
sounded like
that was a bad visual. I couldn't.
Y'all don't like tuna fish? Wow.
No.
Respect your roots, okay? Respect your roots, okay? Uh,
I will take a sip.
all right. The next topic we have here is baby daddies versus baby mamas. I guess at this point, who's the worst? Who's the better? I don't really know
Oh,
why this is
is
look,
there a scale?
I don't know if there's a scale, but I mean, the topic does pop up every so often where it's like, oh, baby mamas be doing the most or baby daddies ain't shit.
Mm,
And it's just like people don't know how to co-parent, right? Because they don't focus
mm,
on the kid, they focus on dealing with the other person.
Right.
And then the other person makes it very difficult to deal with their kid because they're mad at the other person.
Mm-hmm.
right.
But I don't know
Underlying issues, yeah.
I don't know who's the more pettier of the two. I don't know if baby daddies are more pettier than baby mamas, vice versa. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I
I've
mean, I can't even speak on it. I'm not a baby mama. I don't have a baby daddy. So I mean, I don't know. I
mm,
think that both, um, when they're emotionally immature, they're just
mm,
childish. So like you were saying, like it I don't think there's one that's more petty or less petty. I just think that like instead of like them focusing on like what their dynamic was and how they're gonna do this to make this person mad or whatever, like focus on co-parenting, creating a healthy co-parenting situation for the betterment of your child. Because what ends up happening is the child, like all of those things that you are showcasing, and then the anger you take out on your child, that sticks with them, and that's how you create trauma. So it's like
correct.
Yep.
I just
That's
need
so
these
true.
I need these baby mamas and these baby daddies to do some healing work and figure it out, because the babies don't deserve that at all.
Or if you're
So
not going
true.
to put in that work, then put a couple of dollars aside for therapy in the future, like a therapy
Right,
fund. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Because it's like,
Exactly.
yo, I know I'm fucked up and you fucked up too, but our kids gonna be big fucked up. So let's just put it like $20 a month
Yeah, yeah.
so they can afford therapy down the road because they're gonna
Exactly.
need it.
Yeah. And I have faith in our generation. I feel like we're the generation that's really changing that for the future children.
Mhm.
So like I'm excited to see that. And I had even tweeted yesterday that I feel like TikTok teaches me more about parenting. And I don't even have any, because I'm always TikToks of like parents like, this is the breathing work that I do with my child, and I'm telling them this and that. And I'm like, where was this at when my parents were trying to figure out how to be parents? Like I love them
Man,
to
nowhere.
death, love them, but the generational parenting, the generational black parenting,
Mhm.
there are idioms, there are experiences that we all have had, that I know that if we said it right now, we're like, oh my gosh, my mom used to say that. Yeah, my dad definitely did that. Oh, my grandma too. So yeah, it's time to break that generational trauma.
Yeah, I've tried introducing my mom to therapy and she swatted it away in the name of Jesus. So, yes, Jesus is her therapist. She doesn't need anyone else. So it's like, all right, mom,
Uh-huh.
amen, hallelujah. What can I do? But I need a paid professional. I need someone that I can pay not in times but in coins
Yeah.
Oh
because
Lord.
my mental, yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Everyone is
And yeah,
happy, everyone's
I mean,
healthy.
you can have both, but no, I hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's happy and healthy. So whom am I to complain?
Right.
And that's the end of that. Speaking of children, so child support. Once again, we're not parents here, but the hot take on child support is whether it should be paid or not, or whether like how much of the percent is paid, or how is child support used when it comes to kids. I guess the old trope is that I pay child support and then my baby mama use it for her nails and hair. And it's just like
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
that's not okay. I don't
Yeah.
Is
like.
that still happening now? I thought child support is
I
they use a card now or something like a debit
uh,
card or something. I don't know.
I
I
don't know
am
either.
yeah.
I'm not a parent. I
I'm
don't
not,
know.
yeah. I can't speak
If they
about this.
do,
Yeah.
yeah, if they do use a card, that's amazing, because then it puts restrictions. So now you're not, cashing out a check and spending it on your vacation with whoever, or like getting your nails done, whatever. I think there's one thing that like my dad always says. It's obviously an old joke, but he's like, it's cheaper to keep her. And like that is true, because it's
Mhm.
like if you treat her right and you take care of your family at home, you don't have to worry about 80% of your check going toward child support,
Right.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not a parent. I do think that like when we think about child support and whether or not it should be paid, Absolutely, it should be paid, but I think that if we go back to the co-parenting, if you figured out a healthy co-parenting situation, your ass won't be taken to court to be paying no child support. You can figure out some sort of agreement with your the parent of your child, whether it's the mom or the dad. Like,
Right.
it could be okay, well, I'm gonna give so and so a $200 allowance every week or what or something, like.
Yeah.
I think when you get to the point of like, oh, I'm taking your child support, you're at your wit's end. So
That should be the case. It should be a last resort.
yeah,
People, it's like they use that card automatically, just
yeah,
straightforward, like, nah, child support, you got to pay me your wages. And also the argument sometimes I see is, oh, well, if you paying for child support or you taking care of your baby, then you should be taking care of me because I'm the mother. And so, I don't know, shenanigans. I don't know where people are coming up with these theories where it's like, oh, in order to take care of your child, you also got to take care of me because I'm taking care of your child. So without me, your child can't be taken care of.
yeah.
Maybe I'm making it up.
Hear that.
You're not making it up. There's some, I think even some women who are just like not satisfied even with the amount that they get in the first place, and I think that's where a lot of the discord comes in, because let's say there's a payment plan and the child's father is giving a certain amount of money per month, and that's unrecorded money, of course, and then all of a sudden he does something like get a girlfriend, and that that is like a catalyst to whatever previous relationship that they had, and makes her just bitter and have animosity towards him and the relationship, and then puts him on child support. So he has a double-edged sword to pay back child support and still took out previous monies that was unrecorded from what happened in the past. So a lot of, I mean, this is just things that I've seen and I've observed that, it can be potentially a bad situation for the father. I haven't seen, in my generation and my timeline and my circle of friends, a dad putting a mom on child support in that regard, but I don't think that the consequences would be the same. So if the mom was trying to give some money, I rarely see a guy taking a mother for child support. You know what I mean?
I don't even, is that a myth? Is that, I've never heard of that in my life.
I've heard there's like support where the woman, if she's making more and the father is prominent in the child's life, I've heard like one or two that's like in the media, but this is white people, of course, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it, in my circle.
In our community.
Right. Yeah. I haven't seen any of that, but it I don't know if there's a score to keep up who's good or who's bad, who's worse, who's better, but it's individualized. You got to know, first of all, who you are going to have a child with. That is the most important.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you know who you're having a child with. Like, seriously know them. Not, no, oh yeah, I think you're cute. Like, know them. Because any little thing could trigger or ignite a response that might not be, in line with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. That's valid. And then all of a sudden you're taking this girl out on a $200 date. You're not even splitting the bill, and then you have sex on the first date, have a kid, and then is now a baby mama versus baby daddy when y'all realize y'all not good together, and then somebody's paying child support, and now y'all having this whole argument.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see how I wrapped all the topics together?
Look how God got you. Look how God got you.
You see what it is?
That was good. That was good.
Bringing it all full circle. But yes, at the end of the day, take care of your children and do better.
Yes.
For all the parents out there listening, that's really what it comes down to. All right, let's go to the next topic. One here is HBCUs versus predominantly white institutions. What's better? I guess which one is better, or which one is your preference? I mean, I went to a predominantly white institution. Well, actually, predominant enough. And I took
it was.
Ouch.
It was. I only say that because my dream school was LSU. I so wanted to go there so badly. I wanted the experience at a Black college. I watched a different world. I was going to do everything that I saw there.
A different world. You know it's not.
I was going to do everything I said there. They gave me a scholarship. I didn't have to pay any college fee. And the first thing my mom said was, "You're not going to the South to be in a swamp." I said, "Mom."
That's offensive.
Mind you, I was 17 at the time, so she wasn't trying to, talk bad, but she's like, no child of mine is moving from New York all the way down there for nothing. I ended up at a PWI. It was actually a very great school because shout outs to Binghamton University. It was actually a plethora of everybody from New York City decided to go to school upstate. So it wasn't too bad for me. My experience was good. Classes were good. I still felt like I got the college experience. Moved off campus, did everything. I felt like everything was still there, but I would have liked to experience being,
at HBCU. Let me ask you, what year, if you don't mind me asking, what year did you graduate?
2007.
Oh, okay. Because I remember I've had a couple of like crazy nights in Bing, going to school.
Where'd you go? Because I lived around the corner from the Ice House. So.
I don't know what the Ice House is. I used to go up there to go to Pretty Nasty, and I think 2013. It was the year that Mimi and Nico like had their sex tape, and they put it out.
Lord.
And so we were at some venue and they were playing the sex tape on the screen. They were giving out chicken wings. It was just wild.
It had to be the townies.
Now y'all swapping war stories.
No, but it's a party. It's a party college.
It's a party.
I mean, I know.
So is UAlbany. I mean, I didn't go to UAlbany, but I was down the street from it. That was a party school. Like what you're saying, like, going upstate, there's a whole bunch of city kids that migrate to these like big SUNY schools in Binghamton, Buffalo, UAlbany. You went to Buffalo?
No, I went to New Paltz.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I think that's a smaller SUNY, but
it's a small. It was the hottest small state school of its time.
No, I wasn't trying to say that to be shady.
I'm not like repping New Paltz. I'm just saying that's according to their parents. The hottest small one. I don't care about no New Paltz. Whatever. I did my time.
I like New Paltz. I got New Paltz, but I was like,
So did I, but I said no.
And then you end up at Bing.
It's the -- premier SUNY public college.
According to you or according to the pamphlet?
According to everything. But if I had a choice, I would have gone to HBCU.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to counter argue that. I don't think I would go to HBCU. I think it would be a great experience. Not saying that it isn't, but I think that like what I was looking for in a school might have been at a PWI. I think it's just more. It was at maybe like a USC or an LSU or where I went to school is like a very, very small private college, and I just look back on like my college career, and I'm just like, man, I wish I knew about all these like cool internships. Like I feel like people who went to big schools that were well connected were able to like spend a summer in LA working for Rock Nation
That's so true.
And I didn't get that experience. And I mean, I don't know if SUNY school experiences were like that either. But like I feel like
it was kind of similar. Well, I don't know about New Paltz, not to bring any shade. I'm not shading it. I'm just saying
I don't know.
Whenever I had my resume and when I came back down into New York, they'd be like, "Oh, you went to Binghamton." Even to this day, if they're looking at my resume, "Oh, you went to Binghamton. That's a really smart school." Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, well, okay, it's following me, so it's doing some good that I went here."
You went to an HWCU. Let's be honest.
I don't know what kind of hybrid he made, but I'm here for it.
White college.
So what's New Paltz? Okay.
No.
New Paltz is damn colleges are HWCs. Southern region or in that mid section Like, like all of these schools are primarily white, but
Right.
I mean,
I was spoiled.
Yeah.
For me, I don't.
Are cool. I don't think that
Mhm.
I don't think it should be a versus. I think that
It shouldn't.
You think
It shouldn't.
Oh, it shouldn't. Okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say, like, I feel like your college experience is your college experience. Like,
Right.
you can visit both schools or both types of schools and enjoy it. But
I
I didn't graduate feeling like, damn, I should have went to Howard. Like, I didn't feel that way.
I didn't feel that way either.
You know,
I didn't feel that way
like,
afterwards.
I'm
after I went through the process, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me,
I went through the process. Yep.
I think I mean I kind of appreciate the school I went to only because I feel like it was more of an effort to like get to know the people of color on campus. You know what I mean? And I feel like that might have been lost in the HBCU. Like, the fact that we were in a predominantly white, school, and like we had a closer connection with like the black students, the Latino students, and all that stuff, and we were able to like come together and make it lit. I think that was actually more special for me than
I agree.
If I were to be in like a HBCU, and it could have potentially just been like we're all in solidarity, is all together. I don't really know how the demographic of those type of schools are, but I feel like I would have taken it more for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe you would have connected more on like an interest-based level, like if you want to be a part of the marching band, or if you wanted to be a stepper, or if you wanted to be a part of Divine Nine. Like, that's also something I can't speak on.
Nope, not me. Nope.
I'm not in a sorority.
No offense to the Divine Clan, but not me. No, not my ministry. No, thank you.
I still want to go to HSBC. I mean, sorry, HBCU.
Never too late
for me. But no, I'm saying I wanted to do the Fish Fry Fridays, the Gospel Sundays. I wanted to do all of that, collectively with the community of Black people. Like, I was a part of the BSU on my campus, and we did incorporate those things, but it was just that still small intersection of us. I wanted to feel the power of the voices. I wanted to feel the marching band. I wanted a homecoming, a real homecoming. Not with Baxter the Bear.
I know. I feel like if anything, I would have wanted my college experience to be like drumline. Like
drumline, all of those schools. Stomp the Yard minus the legend.
All of that. Yeah, that's what I was like. Ooh, that would be great.
Funny enough, my school had to make up its own homecoming because we didn't have one. We made up like a homecoming style event, which was kind of dope.
Good.
It was, because we didn't have that type of culture. So I mean, it was dope. See, but stuff like that, we couldn't get creative if we went to an HBC. Like, we had it, but we had to make it, and that's what made it more special. You know what I mean?
Right.
So either way, whatever type of school you prefer, as long as you get an education and
that's right,
degree that will get you.
Don't fail out, man.
Possibly,
right? Because loans are crazy.
Word.
No matter what school you go to, them loans still hit.
Right.
So
that's true.
Black school, white school, you still got to pay mad green. Boom, colors. There it is. All right, let's continue. Oh, this is gonna be a fun next couple ones. Who comes first? Who comes first? Wife, mother, baby mother, or daughter?
Okay, this is not where I thought you were going, and
I thought something else too.
Yeah,
what did y'all?
Answer ready.
So. Oh, y'all nasty. Okay. Ow.
You the one that's spitting.
Y'all nasty. Go ahead.
The emphasis.
No, y'all silly.
So you said wife, mother, and who else?
Wife, mother,
daughter.
Baby mother, or daughter. Or yeah. So who comes?
Wife, mother, baby mother,
or daughter. Who comes first? Daughter. I guess in the sense of priority. For me, it's mama. Sorry. I mean, I am a mother's boy, but I don't know. Whatever. I don't have a wife, and I don't have.
Well, so if you did have a wife, let's say you got married, right?
Then my wife
and you have a child. Okay, all right. So it's shifts.
My daughter should come. Look, everyone's important, son. Like this.
So it shifts.
No, you're literally okay. All right, let's set the scene. You're in the ocean.
Oh,
you're in the ocean.
Oh
and
Lord.
Everybody is like, oh my God.
$1 million. That's the answer.
Yeah. Like, who are you going for first?
Who are you gonna save? Yeah. I like that baby mom is not even a part of the conversation.
Well, I would want to save my daughter because more than likely they can't swim. So yeah, I want to save my daughter. But at the same time, it's like, why? I think what it is that people prioritize the value between these different people, but they don't treat them in that value, right? So it's like, yeah, you put your mom over your wife, or your wife over your mom or daughter, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you were not treating that person in that level of priority respectfully, then it's just like, you're just causing a lot of strife.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, I don't want to be in a situation where all four of these people are dangling off of a mountain. I gotta choose one. Like, yeah. First of all, why are we all on a mountain? First and foremost, let's ask the real questions. Why are we all dangling off of a mountain? And am I the only person there? I'm the only man that can save their life. Nobody else?
Yeah. You are. Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, if the roles are reversed and it's like father, baby daddy, husband, son, I'm choosing my son. I know I've seen like arguments about this before, and some people would say that they would choose like, well, I guess in this case, wife or baby mama, whoever you have relations with at that point.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, okay, well, if your child dies, you can just make another one. But it's like,
but that's not how that works.
Right. And then like children are not disposable.
Right.
Like you're just not just like, oh, okay, they're gone. Let's make another one. Like, no, like this is the person that I created. Correct. I'm like, like that. And I know, and I kind of feel like my parents would probably feel the same way. Like I'm going to call them and ask them, but I feel like your child, like that's your first thought. Like, oh my gosh, my instinct is telling me, let me save my child. Yeah, that's my baby. Like what?
I guess the question is basically asking who you love the most.
I mean, but it shouldn't have to be who you love them. I should love all these people, says baby.
But that's what that question poses.
Yeah. It does. You're right, Rovie. It kind of does.
That's what the question poses.
More than the other. It's that kind of love. Like it's like you have love for each of them, but it's different.
Right.
And until I have a child, I won't know what it's like to love a child. But from what I hear, it's like you unlock something completely out of this world, so.
Well, and that's the case, then we need to sift love and priority, because I can love you, but I can also prioritize someone else. And I think certain people get offended when that level of priority doesn't involve them. And we need to do better at differentiating. Well, certain people need to do better at differentiating that, I think, because there's no right answer to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, there's not. No,
everyone has a preference. Some people will say, "Oh, my wife is more important," or my mother comes first, or the mother of my daughter, or the mother of my child.
Is this like a psychological testing question? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Because the way the question is framed, it's who do you love more at that present time, like right now.
Or
it's
not
about like in general, prioritizing who should I love more, or what this person did for me. Like right now, if you had to pick who, and
I think it's more of a priority like perspective, whereas like who is more priority over the other. But look, man, whatever.
And I think a lot of people are questioning daughter, son, and also framing them as them being younger. What happens if you have a grown child? Like a 30-year-old son or a 30-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who would you pick? Yeah.
At this point, I'm choosing the Lord. Let's continue, shall we? Because
you're like, I'm just gonna jump off the cliff.
He's the one and only.
You are the sacrificial lamb, and let everybody else love.
I'll just choose the Lord because
that's where you're going.
Exactly.
Tired.
Can't choose wrong when you choose him.
Somebody's gonna get mad at whatever answer you pick.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you, Chocolate. Do you drive?
I do drive, yes.
So, because I seen this video a couple months ago too. You're in the car.
Oh.
Your wife and your mom show up.
I hate these hypothetical
questions. Passenger side, they both holding on to it, and they're like, "I'm sitting here. No, I'm sitting here." And they look at you and say, "Who can sit in the front? Who are you choosing?"
The answer is we're getting in an Uber. No more arguments.
No.
Next question.
Wrong
because
answer.
I'm not gonna
always run from the hard questions.
I am not gonna sit in the driver's seat with my hand on the shift going into drive while my mother and my girlfriend are now scrapping on the outside. Someone has to get left. It's just nuts. Like, I mean, I would hope, honestly, well, actually, no. Actually, I've been in a scenario, I know the answer. Oh my gosh. I've been in a scenario where my girlfriend and my mom were in the same car, and my mom sat in the back, and my girlfriend sat in the front. And my mom had no problem with it. So boom, there's the answer. Girlfriend.
Well, that's lovely. I'm so glad your mom.
Because your mom has, grew up like that.
My mother was just happy that her son was driving her somewhere.
Like that, huh?
No, I said my mother was just happy her son was driving her somewhere. But yes, I know other mothers are very territorial with that.
Very
where it's like,
oh
no, I need to be in the front seat. I need to be shotgun at all times with my baby. And I'm just like, girl, please.
I'm like your mom. Like, just drive me. I don't want to drive.
Right, I don't
care. Put me in the trunk. I don't care.
Not the trunk.
I'm just saying. I mean, if honestly, and that goes to a bigger point. I would never want to be in a circumstance where my mother and my partner are at odds with each other.
Yeah, they're resting.
Like, I mean, my main standard is if you can't get along with my mom, and my mom gets along with literally everybody. If you can't get along with her, then girl,
you're not the one.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
I ain't got the time.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not playing this who sits in the front seat fight argument games. Who got the time? Come on, people got things to do.
Right.
So that's that on that. We actually answered a couple of other questions on this list, such as if you had to save one, either your partner or your child, who would it be? And then a weird question of who gets served first, your children or your husband or your wife.
My children, I'm just gonna blanket answer all of them. Anything that has kids, my babies. Are you kidding?
Kids are first and foremost, yes.
Yes, because also my grown-ass husband can get his ass up and make a plate. Not to say that I won't ever make you one, but it's like, if it's whether I'm feeding my husband versus my children, feeding my children. Like, what?
How dare you, Simone? That non-hardworking man is sitting on his couch waiting to be served because he doesn't deserve, and you're gonna serve your kids, the one that ain't got no job and paying no bills.
I hope no one's listening to this right now and being like, how dare she? Come on.
You'd be surprised. You'd be absolutely surprised.
Okay, all right. Well,
because people are on hashtag fuck them kids, and well,
right, and I'm like, you made them. I'm talking about some fuck them kids. Those are your kids.
Ooh.
Look in the mirror. You did that.
You did that. Nobody asked you to do that. You did it. And why?
Now you want a TikTok where you doing that freaking WAP dance with like 7 boys behind you. This is your fault. You did this. Nobody else. So why are you complaining?
Oh my gosh.
Let's get to some other fun topics here. I don't know why this is on this list, but dinner with Jay-Z or 50K?
I hate this question.
I've never. We could dead this. I don't even want to answer it. It's a waste of my time.
The answer is 50K, and if anyone chooses otherwise, you're dumb.
No, seriously, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna call somebody dumb, but I will say you have a conversation with Jay-Z, great, but you still are broke. So it's like, unless it's a guaranteed, like, let's say the conversation is an informational interview to work with him, then you have one shot, and like that can be a life-changing opportunity. But if it's just so you can say that you rubbed shoulders with Sean Carter, it's not worth it. Give me the 50K.
I'm sorry. On social media standards, that's priceless. Okay? Because that's just going to be in their bio. Yo, had Rock Nation birth with Jay-Z 2021. And that's just going to be in their bio for 9 years. They'll never let it go.
It doesn't matter if you're not having a conversation about building and working together.
Oh, believe me, I believe you. I'm just injecting nigga logic into this, and I'm just letting you know that your argument is dumb. Okay. Yes, according to Nigalations, verse 9. Yeah, you're talking that yaya, okay? Like,
no, I love that.
I'm taking the 50K, I'm investing it, and Jay-Z will be just fine without dinner with me.
Right. Because now with the 50K, I've made a company that has gotten Jay-Z's attention, and now he wants to buy me out, and now I'm a millionaire. So,
and that is the right answer on the board. There it is. Plus, Jay-Z got 2 kids. He got a wife.
He got three.
Oh, sorry. He has 3 thrice.
We're not going to disrespect Beyonce, all right? Okay.
Yes, Jay-Z and Beyonce have 3 children. Jay-Z ain't got time to have no dinner. He has other priorities.
Oh.
I think he has time for dinner, but I still wouldn't do it. I'll just go on TikTok and let him watch my TikTok video and cash in on 50K.
Sure. If that's the way you want to live your life, then fine.
That's the reality of what it is today. You on TikTok, you sample his song, you do a little video, a little skit, and boom, he reposts you. You're already you're in there.
Instagram. He don't even have social media.
Jay-Z's not on TikTok. So this
He's
is
not on
your plan's not gonna work.
Well, either way, Jay-Z's not on social media, so your plan is not.
The point is, my name will be aligned with Jay-Z. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. If that's your goal in life.
Why are you giving me such hateration vibes right now? That was a good plan. Look, everybody's doing it. Everyone's doing it.
So you have to
take a song. I'm just saying it's easier ways to get your name out there attached to a famous name. That's all I'm saying. Plus pocket the 50K. So you could sample his song, do whatever, make a little video. They tag him or his company, Rocket, whoever, title, whatever. His name will be attached to yours, and you got it. You Insta famous, you TikTok famous. Plus you got 50K in your pocket. What more could you ask for?
That's true. Yeah.
Very, very, very much true. But as I said, there's some men's out there who would think that the selfie with Jay-Z is much more valuable, and those people need help. Anyway, so speaking of that, well, actually, this is not related. Body count. The topic of body count.
Related.
Yeah, it's very unrelated. Horrible segue. I'm getting better.
I went back to the first date.
What was the last time someone asked you about your body count, and why do we still care about this?
It's been a really long time since someone asked me about my body count. Maybe it was like back in college. I really don't know why we still care. I feel like you shouldn't. If anything, we should be having conversations about like our sexual history,
health.
like our sexual health. I mean.
Yeah.
You know, why are we not having that conversation versus okay, how many people do you sleep with? Because also too, let's be real, everyone's going to lie. No matter who, man, women, whatever, they're going to lie because they're either going to add some or subtract some or whatever. I don't think that it's worth having a conversation around. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily be prone to lie. I mean, if I actually count, I'm pretty sure I could get an accurate number and I wouldn't have to embellish it. But for what reasons? Like, why is there such a stigma based on how much people you sleep with to where that?
But it will be received as a lie, regardless of whatever number you say.
Right. Because they're gonna think because men. Who said this? J. Cole. That I can't even think of the line right now. But basically, we're saying that when women say, oh, this is my body count, you have to multiply that, whatever, which also is asinine. Really? But I also, as a woman, and I even had a conversation with one of my friends today about this, how sometimes there are just bodies that you just don't count.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
Those are heavy on that. That's giving me free your mind and the rest will follow vibes.
It's giving me ghost bodies. There it is.
Yeah.
There's sometimes we fuck with ghosts and, you have to be Ghostbusters, and we just have to exercise those demons.
Yeah, right.
Never to be brought up again. But the moment I realized body counts were shit is when I used to watch Maury, and the teenager on the screen was like, "I slept with over 100 men in a week," and it's just like, "Sis,
that's a lie. That's a lie.
The lie test determined that's a lie.
That's a lie.
And the body count doesn't mean shit because clearly everyone's just throwing numbers in the wind. Like, oh yes. Denisha slept with 1,000 men or some wild shit. It's 1,000 niggas. What? Where are y'all getting these numbers from and how?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, nobody's asked me my body count, but I will put my own little introspect into it. If the guy is that good, I question myself about how many other women were you with prior to me? Because you didn't learn this with one or two. This is a thesis level type of pipe game you're trying to put right here. So that's where I'm like, where do we learn this? Because
my thing is, wouldn't a higher body count equate to more experience? Ideally,
that's what I'm saying.
So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
In essence, is like, yes, people want people with more experience, but
no.
But necessarily, like, a higher body count doesn't mean you know what you're doing. It just means you happen to have slept with a lot of people.
That's true too. That's true.
Because you could still sleep with a lot of people and yet decide, yeah, you know what? I am not good at or want to or interested in eating pussy. And then you have to cancel the person. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just certain things that you can't allow in your circle, you know, and that's just one of them. So body count doesn't matter to me. I mean, as I said, I know my number is less than 1,000, but that doesn't equate to.
All right, you was on Maury too?
No. I'm just saying I know mine is less than 1,000 because the fuck, I can't even think of 1,000 people, much less.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Oh God, this topic. The next one is threesomes. So here's my stance real quick. We're all adults. Once again, if you want to have sex with multiple people at the same time, then you should be allowed to #be safe. There it is.
What?
What?
So, but what's your stance on threesomes?
No, my stance is that they're fine. They're okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a problem with them.
It was a lot of words, so I didn't hear what you meant. So
I don't have a problem with threesomes. I don't know. I mean, you know, everyone talks about, oh, I want a threesome, but then, like, I've been in a threesome situation and it was different.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a mental game. You know what I mean?
Is it?
It's a mental game.
Explain some more. I've never been in one of these situations.
Well, you know what? We're running out of time. I don't have the details. Just trust me. It is a mental thing. And if you are not in a mental space, then no matter how physical or freaky you want to be, if you're not mentally there, then, you know, you're just not going to have a good time.
Yeah. The rumor is that once you do a threesome, that's the end of your relationship. Is that true?
What are you talking about?
Like when you start initiating a threesome in a relationship, that's like almost at the end of the two persons that are in a relationship. That's the end of their, I guess, their time together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There'll be a breakup soon after.
Well, see, because threesomes also, I mean, because my threesome wasn't in the guise of a relationship, but for those who do propose threesomes in relationships, that's the ultimate level of trust. And most people can't even trust themselves on a 2-to-2 person. So you're gonna add another element in the ring, and depending on who that person is, it could be homegirl's like friend who guy thinks is attractive, or it could be, you know, that guy friend that girl thinks that cute and whatever. It just gets very messy. So people don't even know how to threesome, much less should be having threesomes.
No, they don't. But they just think that, like, oh, okay, it's either, oh, this is going to make my partner happy. Let me just agree to it. Or it's like, oh, okay, I want to be adventurous. But then it's also like, okay, do you choose someone that you know? Do you choose someone that you don't know? And I personally, I can't. I always joke and I'm like, yeah, I want to do a threesome, but it has to be with like another man. And
we are the same person.
Yeah, most men are like, no, it ends right there, and it's like, all right, so then you ain't ready,
right?
Yeah, you're not emotionally prepared and mature enough to experience.
Right.
So men aren't on that type of time. Now, me, I don't particularly mind, but other men aren't. Most people are just not ready for that. You know, they're not ready for sharing their partner.
It's a mental game. Like if you are not. If you haven't figured out like where you stand in this person's life, if you even trust this person, if you trust yourself to be around someone of the same sex and not feel like it's a weird situation, you know, like there's so many factors. Like you said, I think people need to learn how to threesome first before they start going around being like, oh, I need to be doing menage a trois, like,
or learn themselves.
Correct. There it is.
They don't even know themselves.
Yeah, you don't even know yourself, and you're doing all these things to make other people happy.
You could barely get through a one-some, and now you want to add 2 more people? Come on.
A one-some.
Come on.
Put a one-some.
People need to practice more one-sums and get themselves to understand what they are. Because at the end of the day, it's like, once again, there's going to be a third wheel. And depending on who's involved, like, you know, people are jealous. People are naturally jealous. Me, not necessarily, but others may be jealous. So now you see your partner messing with somebody, they're having a little bit more fun. The thrusts are looking a little more
which will probably
exciting.
feel natural because it's like, here's this person that is your consistent sex partner, and here's a new person you introduce. So they're of course gonna pay a little bit more attention to that because that's the new variable here.
It's just consensual cheating if we really keep it.
It is. That's why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Don't you ask me for threesome.
Because in your brain, while you're up at 3 a.m. watching Pornhub and with Bae, and it's like, oh, this mad sex and cute, we should try it. And then when you're physically seeing it happening, now you want to choke a bitch. And now but you agree to it.
I don't think it's at that moment. It's when he starts going on IG, liking her picture and leaving smiley face with hard eyes. That's where it gets a little sticky, you know. That's where it gets sticky.
Polyamorous relationship, and like
exactly
agreed to this polyamorous dynamic. But after that, like there should be no like, okay, we're still in communication with this person. You hitting the person, you coming over to hang out with like your significant other, and they're like, oh, where's that person? I was, you know, I'm trying to see what's up, what they trying to do.
Right. Well, I would never do that, but Chocolate Douce may want to initiate the threesome without the other person, just to get things started. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand that, it's like we getting it warmed up. And we were waiting for you to get here, so I don't understand why you thinking I'm cheating when it's like we started the twosome and then we're waiting for you to make the threesome. Like it's math. You know what I'm saying?
No.
God bless whoever ends up with you. God bless him. God bless.
Honestly, that's not my logic. I would never think that way.
God bless.
That's wild. Oh man. So yes, I mean that's the gist of the list. There's some other ones which, I mean, if we want to do a quick little lightning round, real quick, I'll list off the rest before we wrap up. Credit conversation. I don't know what that means.
Like your credit score?
I guess.
Oh, big time important.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not having it on the first date. That's a lot. But I'm asking you.
Yeah, at some point.
I'm okay with like having transparent conversations about salaries too. I know that probably scares people, but I want to know how much you make and what your credit is, because if this is a thing and we're you know, going to, if you're looking to settle down, whatever, like I need to know all that. Like,
as you should.
Also, too, student loan debt. When you marry somebody, their debt becomes your debt. So it's like,
and they child support too.
Right. We need to have these conversations. So yeah, I agree. Credit conversations, absolutely. First date, that's your business if you want to, but I'm definitely having the conversation.
It should be had. I agree. What's considered cheating is on this list too. I mean, we all know what cheating is. I mean, we should know. So that's kind of a straightforward thing. Marriage not being important. I mean, that's preference. If you want to be married, if you don't want to be married, literally on you. People have what they call it, you know, when you're not married to someone, but you've been with them for
domestic partnership.
Common law.
Common law. We have a lot of people in common law marriages where they have invisible rings on their fingers, but hey, they're in it to win it.
Together 27 years, and
I'm gonna stick beside him.
That's your man.
I'm gonna stick beside him.
Look at the screen. Is that your man? I'm gonna stick beside him. Like, okay.
Hey, look, some people don't like legalities. Probably people got warrants. Who knows? I don't know. At the end of the day, if you're sticking it out, ring or not, then commends. Submissiveness, if you like being submissive or not. I consider myself a switch. I could be submissive and I could be dominant. Depends on the
Same.
Yeah, I'm a switch.
You don't think so? Wait, whoa, the face is telling me.
We're just gonna keep moving.
Hold on, you don't think I'm submissive?
You don't give me submissive energy, but I know you can be. But especially with our dynamic, you are not submissive.
Not
at all. So maybe that's a friendship thing with a relationship.
The same thing. The right person has to come in and allow me to express my submissiveness. That's all. If not, I will dominate you every chance that I get. Okay. It's not intentional, but I think I'm submissive. Okay. Sometimes.
And then most. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Why are you fumbling?
Doesn't matter. The next topic being bi or transsexual people not being desired. We all know that's not true. There are many beautiful bi and transsexual people out there that.
How is that? Yeah.
Look, man, this is Twitter. Twitter is a wasteland of topics.
I feel like trans and bisexual people are more desired than me.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, no, for real. They're beautiful. My God.
Absolutely.
I don't think I have the patience to pull off half the stuff that they do. Like, I'm just scrolling on IG and Twitter and TikTok, and I'm like, my goodness.
Attractive is attractive.
I love a trans transition, for lack of a better word. Like, on TikTok where like you see them in their natural state, and then however they transition, it looks amazing. So those are my favorite types of videos.
Yeah.
Love it. We support everybody in the queer community here as best as possible. And then the last thing is think tanks on 20-year-old shows, like a different world or a Martin or all these other things that we just can't. And mind you,
ain't nothing out there.
At this point, it's not even 20 years because it's like, what, the year 2000? Yeah, it's like 30 years, like 20, 30 years shows. So like,
yeah, you're right.
Let's let go of, the think tanks or the think pieces on girlfriends and
can't let it go. Can't let it go.
Why?
What are some think tanks or think pieces that you've heard around those shows?
Well, I mean, especially with Monique being more vocal than ever. The whole conversation about, oh yeah, like back then, the way that the conversation around plus size women was so bad back then, and it's like people expect us to go back in time and like recorrect or undo all the toxic or problematic things of the past. And it's like this was a moment in time. Yes, things weren't great back then, or the conversations around these different topics weren't nuanced back then, because at the time that's how it was being handled. Like, we can't keep jumping back and say, oh no, y'all saw on the Parkers where they used to laugh at Kim because she was fat. Oh, cancel that shit. What?
I think the problem is a lot of people are seeing this for the first time too.
Right. And that's fine, right? So have a conversation, but don't chastise the show because it's like, oh, they did this horrendously. It's like, just recognize that, yeah, this was a time where this was accepted or not accepted or whatever the case would be, and time capsule it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't make it seem like, oh, this show is trash because they just did it. Like, come on, the 90s were the time. Like,
I thought I was just gonna say, I think it's just an opportunity to make sure that we're more inclusive in our content creation, in our scripts, and just any kind of media going forward. Because like you said, like back then, some of the things that they used to say on shows and movies, even in like comedy skits,
cringe.
Cringe, one, and two, like people would be hella canceled.
Man, I might be aging myself, but Comic View was the best thing.
And it was funny.
Comic View was hilarious.
Ever, and they got away with so much shit on that show. I was like,
what? Couldn't exist today. Let's just be real. Comic View could not.
Our society's hypersensitive.
Super sensitive.
Well, right. That I mean most
and in many cases, rightfully so. But there are also some things where it's like, geez, okay, it's a joke.
Like, we don't have to normalize everything, right?
Yeah.
Let's not normalize everything.
Let's normalize being normal, actually.
Right. Let's accept the fact that was then and this is now. We're grown. We've evolved.
Right.
That's your quote, Rovie, right? That's your tagline. We've evolved.
I've evolved, yes.
But let's sometimes we embrace the times where we were devolved, and that's okay too. You know what I mean? It was funny as shit. That's all that it is. As I said, we know better to do better, and that's all that is to that. So yeah, that is it. That's the list. How do we feel now that these topics are finally out of our systems? We don't have to bring them up again. How do y'all feel? Y'all feel purged?
A bit. But I might fall back and relapse. I will be honest. It'll come up.
I'm not going to join you in these conversations. I'm not.
You might have to.
I shan't. Don't loop me. Don't tag me in none of this shit. Don't tag me in none of these.
You'll be the first person I tag. You're it.
If you and somebody else wants to go back and forth about dinner with Jay-Z and 50K, then by all means, the internet is free. God bless. But it won't be me.
Ooh.
As far as this is concerned, on this episode, we said what we said. And that's it. That is all.
Moving forward.
We have to move forward.
Moving forward.
Good. So Simone, thank you so much for joining us on this episode.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
For going through all this and talking it up with us. So yes, let our audience know where they can find you and your brand. Your empire. We're building empires out here. So yes, let us know where we can find you online and everywhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I'm Via Simone. You can follow me on Instagram, via.simone. You can follow me on Twitter, via Simone _. You can follow my empire on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's Bonnets Durags, no and. So BONNETSDURAGS. Also, make sure you listen to the podcast. We are working on season 5 now. You can listen to seasons 1 through 4 on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you consume podcast content. That's Bonnets and Durags, a pillow talk podcast. And that's for people who aren't familiar with the show. It's just a show where we have conversations, open and honest conversations with Black and Brown millennials about whatever. In the past, we have had conversations about these $200 dates and all of that, but I'm looking forward to laying all of that to rest into season 5 and focusing on new content, new conversations, and new things that really impact our culture. So yeah, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for being a part of the culture. And I just realized that by me calling your enterprise an empire, it's now called the Bonnets and Durags Empire, which is short for BDE.
Oh, BDE. All right. Did you major in marketing?
Right.
I mean, I did a little something.
I had to hire you on my marketing team. Okay, I like that.
I have plenty of ideas. If you just put me on the payroll. No.
Once I get some money, I got you. So.
Don't put you to it. Get the contract ready. But yes, once again, thank you so much for joining us. And for those listening, if you want to catch us on any other episodes, you can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Follow me and Rovie respectfully. Slide in the DMs, not about these topics, because you will get blocked. Hashtag Rovie being queen of the block. You know what time it is there. So definitely don't slide into our DMs being disrespectful. But yes, follow the podcast on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, that is it for this. I hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, I hope you are putting these topics to bed on your own timelines. And so let's just not talk about this again, because I'm tired once again. Over it. Over all of this. Let's talk about some new stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the new is these days.
Whatever that looks like, it has to be forward progression, honestly. So.
Yes. Leave all that stuff in
We're
BC.
not regressing. We're only progressing. Yeah.
Leave all that stuff before quarantine, before COVID. Yeah. we're in the new world now. Let's leave all that stuff in the old world. So until then, once again, thank you all for listening, and we will catch y'all next time.
Bye. See you next time. Bye.
There you go.
Say goodbye, Rovie.
Bye, Rovie.